I was not a Taylor Swift fan. It was just a question of time. You couldn't possibly endorse Biden. You look at Biden, you couldn't possibly endorse him. But she's a very liberal person. She seems to always endorse a Democrat, and she'll probably pay a price for it in the marketplace.
So that was Donald Trump's response to Taylor Swift having endorsed Kamala Harris the day after it happened, saying, I'm not a fan of hers. I mean, he's previously said like 40 times in a 10-second span that she's beautiful, very beautiful, super beautiful, but he wasn't a fan. Well, it's been a few days since then, and he's less of a fan than he used to be, apparently, because for some reason he truthed, I hate Taylor Swift. That's the whole message. I will remind everyone, because some of you might not be familiar with this. He was the president of the United States, and he went on social media to say, I hate Taylor Swift. She's a pop star, and he's raging against her on the internet for some reason. Well, Harris and Walz, their campaign is gonna have a little bit of fun at his expense. But before we get to that, I just wanna point out to Donald Trump. He won't listen. He's too stupid to listen. We want things like the Taylor Swift endorsement to bother you. I want her to endorse Harris for a lot of reasons, but one reason, maybe it's petty, maybe I'm a small person, is I want it to get under your skin and ruin your day. So when you, days later, truth, I hate her, do you have any idea how happy that makes me? And just for your own selfish reasons, why would you want to reveal to your enemies how successful they're being in trolling you or bothering you or angering you? Can you not project one time in your life your own petty little issues that you have? I don't know. They can't.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
So anyway, Harris Walz put this out. It's Trump's bad week, Taylor's version. I think that's a reference to a song. I think Mr. Not At All Fine has spent this week working through his feelings, whining about his champagne problems, and spending exactly none of his time addressing the issues facing the American people.
So many references.
I assumed they were.
2. Yeah, there you go.
Yes. His rambling, yelling, and constant conspiracy theories have many asking if the man is too emotional to be president. Call it what you want, but it's nothing new for the smallest man who ever lived. These are all references, right?
Reference, yeah.
Okay, after a seething, unhinged, incoherent debate performance that Republicans deemed a disaster, Trump and his inner circle of extremists can't seem to shake it off as the bad blood between Trump, his running mate, and his own party
this
boils.
Is so cringe.
And then eventually something better than revenge. So I think that's all the songs. I think they hit all of them. Now, the interesting thing is that Donald Trump probably won't get any of that any more than I do because he's not a fan, and also he hates Taylor Swift. What do you think?
Yeah, down bad is like, this is just silly. I mean, it's cute. I mean, it's silly, but it's cute. Like, she's that big where it's like, okay, you should know at this point in the year 2024, you should know the down bad reference, which is immediately what came to my mind. And I was like, should we say shake it off anymore? They feel so dated. It's down bad. He's definitely down bad, crying at the gym, except he doesn't go to the gym. Crying on the golf course.
Is crying at the gym one of them? I don't.
Yes. Well,
I only know the dated one.
Next line, down bad, crying at the gym.
Yeah.
He's so trollable, John. Like, this is their alpha. This is your alpha. I hate Taylor Swift. And then all the other alphas, all they do, I mean, Charlie Kirk and all this sort of, again, like the bog of right-wing podcast space, all they do is be like, I don't think she's got any eggs left. Yeah, she's like ugly too, even though like 4 years ago we loved her, even though I love her, but now that she's endorsed Biden, she's ugly and she's got no eggs. And I'm gonna talk about her eggs some more. It's just like, it's also proving the point. Stop proving the point that Taylor Swift is trying to make by basically saying, I want to vote for someone who sees me as a full citizen, as a full human being, by being that guy, by being that disgusting urchin that she writes about and sings about every single X. You're basically that guy. And so it is just so funny that instead of attempting to do anything that would endear their candidacy to young women, It's like, no, I hate Taylor. She's terrible.
He's
Like,
so mean.
Can you imagine if Kamala Harris tweeted something like that? The dunking would never end. And it hasn't, obviously, for Donald Trump, but the MAGA movement, the right, can't see that. They can't see it.
Imagine if Barack Obama, you just woke up and he had tweeted, "I hate Selena Gomez." He's so weird, so strange.
Or I hate Amber Rose.
Yeah, well, she's apparently a Trump fan, I guess.
Exactly, but if we did that to their,
it'd be so weird. I wouldn't even say it about people that I'm not interested. I don't love Kid Rock or whatever, but I've never tweeted. It's so weird. Anyway, so Stephen Chung apparently tweeted this out. Impact of Taylor Swift's endorsement among all adults. 6% more likely to support Harris, 13% less likely to support Harris, 81% makes no difference. So they tweet that out to be like, it doesn't even matter. Look, it actually hurt Harris. Well, why don't you show that to Donald Trump? Because he's the one that's freaking out, by the way. Also, if we bring that graphic back up. So it's a real poll, by the way. I tried to find the crosstabs and they don't have it. I only was able to find analysis of it. That looks like, well, then this actually hurt Harris, right? That's what that looks like. That's not necessarily what it means, though, because it generally means not many people actually are affected by it, which is what I would expect. I wouldn't expect most people would be. But if you have like a significant portion of the population that is going to vote for Trump, a significant portion is going to vote for Harris, and then you have independents, you could have poll results that look like that have some independents being like, this has swayed me, and a ton of right wingers who would never vote for anyone other than Trump saying, this makes me less likely to vote for Harris because they're so mad about it. So this does not necessarily mean, it's not like that's independents or undecideds saying that. That's all adults. So again, I would love to prove that with the crosstabs, but the data isn't available. That's just sort of my expectation. But even so, there are some Republicans that are like, you got to stop antagonizing them. Tommy Lawrence said pissing off Swifties just probably isn't the best idea, unnecessary, which I agree. And others jumped on as well. It's just, what are you getting out of this? Like if it hasn't yet motivated some of the Swifties to go vote for Harris, you making it into a campaign against them, how does that help your case? I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's why, John, we covered this, that when Taylor Swift was potentially maybe gonna endorse Biden, but she didn't even, she was just touring. The right was like, well, I wouldn't, like they were freaking out about it. Like, well, we shouldn't, trying to do Janine Pirro, like, you shouldn't endorse her. Why would she wanna endorse anybody? Like, they were freaking out because they knew the power and the effect of Taylor Swift. And so now they're crying about it and they're making it worse. And the answer to the polling is, no, it had a huge impact. Maybe not necessarily convincing people to vote for Harris who weren't going to vote for Harris, but for registering new voters who maybe are first-time voters, who were like just double checking their registration. Maybe they hadn't registered, right? Like, this is hugely impactful. The data that we talked about on my show showed that there was 10,000 clicks on that registration link an hour after she posted it. So you're lying to yourself if you think that Taylor Swift's endorsement had no impact. Look, those people might ostensibly vote for Trump. They might ostensibly leave the top line blank, but they are registering. And you know who is afraid of registering? It's Republicans. They never GOTV. Are you kidding me? No, they don't need to get out the vote. They need to convince the few people who are not dead yet to vote. Like, that's it. Just those swing state voters who are still alive.
When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?